Hello friends. Well, okay, so we're kind of at a conundrum here because there's a lot of stuff that is kind of swirling around that we want to know. We're at the point now where our maturity requires us to understand certain things, and we don't have the answers. So we have to piece together a story, and we were given a story, but again, it's probably a story. So, how do I say this? So this, I did that reading on Satoshi, and it really didn't come up that Satoshi was a person. I want to say my sense is that Satoshi is an operation. It's a code name for an operation, it seems, and that's the sense that I'm getting. So I think we're going to get a little clarity on that, but also Hal Finney is brilliant, and it's a little suspicious that 40 years of research and technology is pulled together and creates Bitcoin. And how is that? How is that? I know that there are off-world forces that are channeling us, guiding us, moving us, herding us in certain directions, and we're being given gifts to help us along the way to a certain point. And we're being managed, which is why we don't have a time frame for any of this, because the time frame is when we're ready, the next thing happens. And it's kind of like dominoes in that one thing happens and then the next thing happens. Now, AI is crawling all over the place, watching all of us humans. And when we come up with an idea, or we come up with a suggestion or a new concept, it gets circulated through the unconscious, and maybe somebody else comes up with it. But the AI is searching the internet, so if anybody speaks about anything, they'll say, oh, well, one person got it, another one got it. I really, truly believe that they're collecting data in that way. So, I don't know. I'm going to make an attempt here to get some answers to all this stuff. The universe is speaking. The answers. Listen with all your heart. The universe is speaking. Listen with all your heart. The answers are coming, I think. That's what I'm hearing. So I guess I'm looking for answers. I want answers. And let's see if the cards can give us some answers. Let's see if those on the other side. Okay, and there's the structure. It's like there's this wall that exists, and there's this 3D reality here, and then there's this whole other thing going on that we can't see, but it's in spirit, and it's just as valid as what's on this side, but we can't see it, and so we have to take it on faith. We have to take it on feelings. We have to use our extra sensory perception to perceive it. And so some of us are better at that than others, and it's a skill set. And these forces here are really influencing this, and a lot of people on this side are denying that they have anything to do with anything, that they don't even exist. But over here there's this whole thing going on. And this is a lot of where the evil people, this is kind of, their realm, because it's a secret. And they use this stuff against us, like they do black magic attacks to attack people on this side, or they do other things to influence what happens over here. And they have this whole world that we don't know about, and their whole world is involved in directing and channeling and moving everything over here, but instead of in a good way and channeling us like the off-worlders are, they're channeling, they're trying to trip everything. They're flipping everything. If there's something good and it's loving, they flip it. If it's a good child, they corrupt the child. If it's a loving relationship, they tempt somebody, or they put curses on them, or they kill one of them. That's how they work. That's what they do. So Bitcoin is really an insidious tool to free us from a lot of that stuff. But there's a lot more going on here than really most of us understand. So I'm going to just see what kind of answers I can get, because these things trouble me and they keep me up at night. So let's see if we can get some answers to what's happening. I feel like a bunch of small reads are going to be more useful when we have multiple questions. So I guess my burning desire is, I don't really think that Satoshi was a person. Like I said, Dick Allgaier did a remote view, and they all came up with 4 people, a woman, a young man, and then 2 other men who were involved in the creation of this. And that's possible. They could have been government, they could have been military. I don't know. I get the sense that there was off-world influence. And I mean off-world, like there's us and then there's stuff, places and beings and things that we are not privy to. Although I know they exist and I know they influence us, but we're not privy to them. Anyway, yet. And and this is really out there, but I think Starlink is going to be the one that gives us phone access to off-world. Alright, I'm just throwing that out there because I got that the other day. It was a download. Be authentic. Anything else is just exhausting. So here I am being authentic. I don't want to exhaust you. You're already exhausted. Alright. Alright, let's see what kind of answers, because sometimes there are answers and we won't get them because we're not supposed to have them yet. We're not there yet, and it's not approved that we should be able to have these answers. If we come up with them on our own, well, you know, that's the way it is. But anyway, sometimes the cards don't show us things because we're not allowed to see them yet. We would respond differently if we already knew. So we'll see how far we can get there. Good luck with that, huh? Alright, anyway. Angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, source, departed loved ones, ancestors, anyone on my team who is willing to come forward and help me to clarify the situation that exists here. Now, I'm also working with my air conditioner on, so I hope that that sound doesn't affect everything. I'm going to try to speak up more loudly. It's all good. Well, we get this card a lot. It's all good. Okay, so it's you know, we're growing up. That's what it is. We're growing up. I'm not going to read all good, because it's all good, and I'm not going to read it. So there. I got enough other things to concern myself with here today that I'm not going to worry about reading that. Just know that it's all good. So this is good. These are the cards that have no color, and I pulled them out for a reason. I want purity in the message, and I don't use them that often, so I use them when it's kind of a really important read, and I really feel like this is a really important read. So, we'll see what happens here. Hope you're enjoying your week so far. And the advice for the weekend and the week is useful, helpful. Okay, there's my corner. Alright, so Satoshi Nakamoto, excuse me, is said to have created Bitcoin, and yet it's a story that we're being told. and we know what it is about stories. They're stories. So I don't know if I'm buying into that, and I think that it might be a code name for something, a military operation. So let's do a reading and just see what shows up. Okay, so in history it was a strategy. It's coming as fortification and, putting your guard up, being in a place of safety and looking out, but having to be brave. This is about balance, and it's about relationships and coming together. It's a Libra card, so it's about, yeah. So this is how we're showing up. This is how Satoshi is showing up, as a fortification, a place of strength. History was they needed a strategy, and so they created a strategy. And this is to create balance, to get rid of all the influences that are negative, that are happening to innocent people, victims, on the other, visible spectrum. Okay, 4 wands, so that's nice. I mean, this is a portal, this is completion, this is wonderfulness. And if this is where we are, then that means the operation is very successful. It's everything we need it to be and everything we want it to be, and that's what it is. Okay, and we're going to the King of Cups, the qualifiers, or the Hermit, keeping it a secret, and Nine of Pentacles, which is wealth and prosperity and sovereignty and fertility and good things. So that's a nice couple there, the King of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. Alright, so I want to say yes, it was a military strategy. We're in a really good place because it's going exceptionally well. We showed up as fortification, so when Bitcoin was brought about, it was a way to fortify us, a way to balance what's out there and get rid of these criminals who prey upon us. And then we're going to move to humanity. King of Cups is warm, friendly, he knows people's names, he is very loving, he's very much into the emotion of things, he understands when you bring him a problem. So that's where we're going to. We're going to a better humanity and a better place, and a more responsive place to our needs. So I want to say that's a yes. I want to say that yes, the military did bring in Bitcoin. It's confirming that, and it's giving us details about that. So Mr. Money should be happy because we've just confirmed his latest argument that it was created by the military. Now, and it's called, the code name was Satoshi. So, okay, let's see if Hal Finney was involved, because this man is brilliant. I mean, literally brilliant. And he came in at a time very early, and I don't know if he was involved, but he seems to have a legacy that follows him. We know the man from his personal story that he gave us, which is why it's important to do the history on these things. But anyway, I want to say that people suggest that he is Satoshi, and I don't know that Satoshi is a person. I don't know that it's the name for somebody. Like I said, I think it's a military operation, and I think we just sort of confirmed that. But we can ask that question too, about Hal Finney. So, alright, Hal Finney. Were you, Satoshi, were you critical in the operation of bringing Bitcoin about and releasing it into the public? Yeah, so here, and here, and here. Okay, so Hal Finney comes to us, and he arrives as someone who is sad about the losses, and he understands that there are cups behind him, but he is sorrowful about the losses, and he sees the situation, and like I said, he understood it very well. His history is that he wants to come up with something that is a good idea that would be better than what's already out there, gold and silver and fiat and whatever else. He wants something, and it's almost as if he had a download. If he was truly enlightened, it's possible that he had a download and was given the information and then just carried it forward because of a skill set. He was able to do that. Perhaps he was handed it by the military in already form. I feel like he got it through his crown chakra. But I want to say that it's looking a lot like he was involved in the original stuff. Here, the world sees him as looking at the world, making a plan, and or having a wish, making a plan, and then getting ready to put it into action. He's looking for fertile ground. This is kind of already a little bit busy, but he's looking for fertile ground. Alright, so where else? The Fool. Yeah, we're starting a new journey. Yes, I believe that. He was starting a journey, and he was the Fool. He was bringing something about that had never been seen before, and everybody said, you're crazy, and it's impossible, and it's not going to work. And yet, he brought it out. So, the Queen of Pentacles is Bitcoin Speaks Tarot is our patron card here. It's a Capricorn card. It's about building. But yeah, coming divine inspiration. He realizes what it is and what he needs to do. He is the Fool. People see him as contemplative, but also willing to change the world. He wants to change the world. He's looking at the world, and he wants to change the world. And this came up, I believe, in his reading. But he comes here sad because he sees what it is, and the corruption and the horrible, and maybe in the 70s when Nixon took us off the gold standard and put us on the petrodollar, and Hal Finney was around saying, oh boy, now we're in trouble. So, anyway, we're moving to a place of Queen of Pentacles, which is a sovereign, very rich queen, and very well-grounded. It's earth energy. The Strength card is here to show us that it provides strength, and it's also going to take a lot of work, because here we are putting in the work, planting the seeds, tending the garden, making it grow. So, yes, I want to say Hal Finney was directly involved in this from the reading, because he is the Fool, and he had an inspiration either handed to him or given to him divinely through his crown chakra. But he shows up as the Fool because he's starting this new journey to take us here, which is, where he ended up because he got involved in Bitcoin, and posthumously his family is sovereign because of his actions and because of what he did. So as much as he was sad about not everybody catching on, he really was quite a force of nature himself. So yes, I think Hal Finney was directly involved. I think he, I don't know, if he was one of the people that put it together. Okay, now there's somebody else that I got to bring into this picture here, because he is another person who is in the mix, and he is absolutely brilliant. Apparently he's dead and gone. I don't believe that. I think he's working in secret, and I think he's off-world. That's what they do. They take you out of the world, and they bring you to off-world, and then, that you keep working. And that's where all these people go. They go off-world somewhere. I guess they burned the right. They did their mission, and they're ready to help from a different place. So So we looked at Satoshi, we looked at Hal Finney. I was just talking about something and I lost my train of thought. Well, in the meantime, these are shuffled. Let's get a Lenormand just to kind of break things up. So I guess the next thing to ask would be, like, where do we go now? You know, now that we know these things, we know that there was off-world involvement, we know that there's a story that isn't necessarily true, and we know that Hal Finney was involved in some fashion. Not only is he legendary for just being one of the first guys, but he had his finger in the pie. So he was involved somehow. He's not telling us, but he was involved somehow. That's why probably he came up with a personal story as opposed to like a professional one. It was more of a personal expression, a story. House, anchor, tower. Oh, that's interesting. House. House is real estate, family, home, domestic matters. Alright. Real estate, home, domestic matters. Anchor. I think I already know what anchor is, but that's okay. We'll see what they say. Anchor. Stable, security, long term. So happiness, security, and the tower. Intuition, government, university, hospital, restrictions. Okay. So family, security, restrictions. Yeah. So Bitcoin is about providing security to the family. But, you know, there's this tower that is like literally upside down. Tower. And that's what Bitcoin is. It's bringing the tower to the established structure. It's providing us with maybe a tower, but our families and our security are related to the tower of bringing down the system and establishing our own fortress. Our own systems, not the ones that are already in place, new ones, better ones. Like how documentation can be done on Nostr now. If you want to document something, you can use the structures that we've been given. So there's new things in place to take the place of the old things. Once again, we're at Buckminster Fuller. Buckminster Fuller said, don't challenge what's there, create something new, and people will gravitate naturally to the new place. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to establish families and security and structures that support a new system and a better system and a more fair system. Well, that's the best for that. Okay, so let's say that everything that we already know is true. Let's just ask, where do we go now? What do we do now? You know, like now that we know this, and maybe the AI is going to pick up that I'm reading the cards and I know about these things, and we're not buying into the story anymore, that it's a different story and it's okay for children, but we're grown up now and we need the real story. So where do we go now? What do we do now with this information that we have? Because We need to know. Oh boy. Oh boy. Ah, and there's the Five of Cups again. This card keeps coming up. Alright. So our friend here... Okay, so where do we go now? Well, we're coming from a place of okay, so the only way I can describe the Chariot card is that these animals don't have reins, whether they're horses or tigers or dragons or whatever they are, sphinxes. They do not have reins. This cart is driven by motivation and sheer will. So by sheer will, we are bringing this forth. This has been brought forth. We find ourselves in a lot of conflict. There's a lot of fighting going on, and boy, you can see that. There's a lot of fighting going on, and people are all passionate and emotionally involved in what's going on. Not physical fighting like hurting people and killing people, but verbally fighting actively. There's a strategy in place, and that strategy is being implemented, and we should just support the strategy that's already there. Meaning, support Bitcoin, support the activities that support Bitcoin, like nodes and mining, and talking to people, getting the word out. This is how we are seen as troublemakers, problematic people, because we won't go with the flow. We're bucking the system, and that's how we are seen as, hey, you're bucking the system. But this guy, look at the people. He manipulates them. He is not good, and they are accusing us of things that they are projecting upon us. These are projections. We are not doing these things. We are not manipulating people and leading them astray. I hope not, anyway. You can only offer your information, and if people want to take it, then they want to take it. Case in point, I was at an art fair. One of the artists was clearly miserable by his pictures. I pulled him aside, I spoke with him, and I asked him about healing his heart, and I gave him some suggestions to be able to heal his heart, things that worked for me and things that I knew would work for him. But I said, you have to ask. And one of my sayings is, talk is cheap and thoughts are even cheaper. And this is a physical universe, and you have to do things. You have to show up and physically do things. You have to say things out loud. You have to pray. You have to get up and walk and move in a direction. You can't just think about it, and you can't talk about it, because, like I said, talk is cheap and thoughts are even cheaper. You know, just because you're thinking about it doesn't mean shit, basically. You got to get up and do it. You've got to actively do it. You have to be the wands. You have to be active. And so consequently, we are not manipulating. We are offering and suggesting and being role models, because that's how we have to do it. But they're projecting a lot of crap on us that isn't true. What we truly are is the fool. We are on the fool's journey. We know where we want to get. We have no idea how to get there. But we're going, and we're taking a step forward anyway, because we know we need to get there, and we're, you know, we're committed. Yeah, we're committed. We're traveling light. All we have is a seed phrase, and we're moving forward. You know, things don't matter so much. It's all about what's in our heart. Bitcoin's coming. It's slowly and surely, it's gonna come. It's arriving. He's a slow horse, but man, he'll get there. And that's what, you know, slow and steady wins the race. So, yeah, and we still have some sorrow. We still have, you know, looking at our losses and saying, wow, like, life is tough, man. That's what I say, anyway. But not anymore, because I have Bitcoin and I have a new attitude. I am the fool. I am ready to move forward. So I think that's it. You know, you gotta just apply yourself. Things are changing. Every day we wake up and there's new stuff. There's new stuff. But, you know, this is where we're coming from. No. You know, they're projecting this on us. Well, we're not that. We're this. This is a strategy. And we're coming from this place of motivation, you know. There's a lot of us out there doing little bits every day, every day, every day. And those things are cumulative. So they're going to come together and they're going to, I don't know, help us win. I think we've already won, but it'll help us. It'll show us that we are winning and that we have, you know, we're in a good place. We have the tools, we have the skills, we got the people. Now it's just a matter of doing it. And, you know, my dad used to say, can't eat an elephant in one bite. You gotta take it a little at a time. So, can't eat an elephant in one bite. Okay, expect powerful change. New moon eclipse. Expect powerful change. And I believe that's true. I think there's a lot of stuff on the horizon that's, you know, barreling toward us that we don't even know, and it's gonna just knock our socks off. So, well, that's encouraging. I feel a little more encouraged. I hope that I'm not up all night. Okay, expect powerful change, new moon eclipse. If you want affirmation that you can achieve your dreams and get the desired outcome in the situation you're asking about, then this is it. Well, there you go. There's our answer. This is a card of beginnings, and there are powerful energies at work. Be prepared. It could be quite a ride, and events now could even be jarring and uncomfortable. However, any new directions you take will almost always lead somewhere better than where you are at the moment. Yeah. Whatever is happening now is happening for a reason you'll appreciate later on. Oh, okay. Yeah, hindsight is a blinding light. A new portal is opening up, and all you have to do is have the courage to forget about the past and move through it. You're being put back on the right path. There is nothing to fear. Never mind the past. Life evolves every single day. Wow, I just said those things. Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. Yeah, that's a good answer. I like yes. You're being shunted toward your life purpose. Whatever is happening now is happening for your highest good. This is an important turning point in your life. Yeah, I really think that. Like I said, I feel like there's stuff barreling towards us that, like, coming in fast, and it's big, and wow. Anyway, the teaching. New moon eclipses are almost the most exciting astrological events. They herald a complete change of pace. It's as though you're headed in one direction, probably being guided by your ego, and then here comes the divine, the goddess or spirit, to turn you instead to face the direction you actually need to go. Regardless of whether or not there's a new moon eclipse happening, when you pull this card, it's a powerful affirmation of positive turnarounds. Well, I think we're on the brink. Like, this guy is on the brink. You see, he's on a mountain. He's on the brink. And he's going to step off, and oh my, he's going to become somebody else, and the whole world is going to change around him. It's like on those movies when you step through some portal or curtain, and then all of a sudden there's this whole world that manifests before you, and you're somewhere else. And you don't want to go back. So, I hope that this gives us a little bit of rest in terms of, you know, conflict, turmoil, and what we're thinking. This silliness, I don't know. I just heard something the other day about how the worlds are separating. They said that there's going to be a separation of worlds from 3D to 5D, and that's going to separate. And they're saying that it can feel the separation happening now. It's becoming more and more apparent. There are people that just, they just don't fit in your world anymore, and you look at them and you go, I can't believe we're walking on the same earth. Yeah, because the mindset is just so different. So, I don't know. I've heard all kinds of things. Maybe we'll do a reading on whether those people are going to just disappear, or if they're going to die, or if they're just, I don't know. I got the feeling the other day, and this is really strange, but I got the feeling the other day that I woke up and big things had changed, but our memories had been erased and we didn't know it. And that was a weird feeling. Kind of like, you know, something happened that all of a sudden now we don't remember anything about. So I don't, what do you do with that? You just, you know, you just let it happen. Anyway, I'm way late, but I think we needed some answers. So anyway, here's the read. Thank you. I'm up to 33 subscribers, and I am just jazzing about that. That is like the best thing. So thank you again. Like, share, please subscribe. I'm still going for 100. I know nobody's listening to me. And that's okay. It gives me a little bit of liberation, because now I can do whatever the hell I want, because there's not a lot of people watching, and there's not a lot of people commenting. So, you know, the worst they'll do is ignore me. So anyway, I'm determined to make this useful in some manner or fashion. Anyway, thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.